Hi there guys and welcome to today's video. Today we're here in attendance of Hibs versus INTER ESCLADES from Andorra. They finished second in the Andorran League just last year, which of course meant they are now here in the Europa Conference League where they face Hibs at Easter Road. They played the first leg back in Andorra and it was a 2-1 win for INTER ESCLADES, which is one of the worst European results we've seen for a Scottish team in history. You know, we've had quite a couple of poor results. The Sligo Rovers result, and then a couple of years back, I believe the Kilmarnock with Quahog or something along the lines of that. So we've had a couple of bad results, but maybe Hibs can redeem themselves here at Easter Road. The last time they played in a European Cup was many years ago, and I believe it was Malmo, so a 7-0 loss, and they were hoping to change that and get a better result for the next time in a European competition. But yeah, they face this side today, and of course the reason they're here today is they finished 5th in the Premiership last season as Celtic won the Scottish Cup. That freed up a space in the league table for sides to play European football since Celtic had already clinched a Champions League group stage spot. But it's a big game for Hibs today. You know, they've had a couple of pre-season games, including playing Blackpool and Groningen. They also threw into Blackpool, but I suppose, you know, most managers will tell you it's all about fitness. So yeah, they've got a big game today, and I see the a stadium could be quite full today, as it is, like I said, a big game. And Martin Boyle, it starts for Hibs for the first time since October 2022. Of course, he had that horrible injury which rolled him out for the majority of last season, but he returns today. And Christian Doidge as well, who has spent the majority of last year on loan and to Kilmarnock, and David Marshall is also starting today, who had a very poor performance last week, which a lot of the Hibs fans were very angry about. But is he able to redeem himself here? We'll have to wait and see. But a big game ahead for Hibs, and yeah, I'll make sure to keep you updated. I'd give you a little bit of analysis into today's fixture as Hibs face INTER ESCLADES, and their first time facing European opposition or in a European tournament for the first time in 5 years. So big opportunity for them. The last time they faced a European side in a European competition was Malmo, the Swedish side, back in 2018. They lost 3-0 on aggregate and drew 0-0 here at Easter Road, but lost 3-0 away in Sweden. So we're hoping for a better performance today, and you know, putting on a better run. Definitely a better performance from the performance out in Andorra just last week. It was a 2-1 defeat. Joe Newell managed to get a 91st minute consolation goal, really, and to take back to Easter Road with him. It's a 2-0 deficit. Coming back to here would have been very worrying for Hibs. A 2-1 defeat should still be very worrying for them, but you know, they've got an opportunity to rewrite that here today. And they've got some good starting lineup today. They've got Christian Doidge, who spent most of last season on loan at Kilmarnock, and Martin Boyle returning, like I said earlier, for the first time since October 2022. So a strong lineup for Hibs today. Maybe that could be the difference. Martin Boyle starting, but yeah, and David Marshall also starting as well, which many fans were very disappointed with his performance last week out in Andorra, as you know, many blamed David Marshall for at least one of those goals, but yeah, it was a poor performance from Hibs in general. But like I said, they were hoping to redo that today, and you know, in front of 15,000 here at Easter Road, or 15,000 plus here at Easter Road, and back on their home turf, proper grass, unlike what was out in Andorra. They've got an opportunity to take that and go on and utilise that, but we could play to their advantage. Whereas Andorra, to come here, no travelling sport, I believe, or if they do, very little. So yeah, but it's definitely Hibs who got the advantage here in terms of home turf, of course, and they are Hibs, and it is an Andorran division side. They didn't even win the Andorran League, so I think it should be a relatively easy match for Hibs today. Maybe win by 2 or 3 goals. But yeah, it should be a very easy game for them. But we have seen a lot of Scottish sides really underperform in Europe, like Celtic and Rangers last season, Hearts in the Conference League, and then Motherwell, I don't know if you remember, they lost to Sligo Rovers, and then a couple of years back, Kilmarnock, I think it was Quahog Red Dragons, I believe. I think it was a Georgian side, and a horrible result for them. So, or maybe it was a Welsh side, I can't remember who they were playing, but it was a horrible result. So the Scottish sides have underperformed in Europe a lot. So maybe could Hibs get to the Conference League group stages, put on a good performance, and make a name for themselves on the European stage. We'll have to wait and see. But tonight is about INTER ESCLADES, and that's their first step to achieving that dream of Europa Conference League group stage. And it looks like they'll have the support for it, whereas something like 15,000 plus will be here tonight. So exciting game ahead for Hibs. And what do you know, it is 1-0 Hibs here. Who else but Martin Boyle returning to the team sheet for the first time since October 2022. A really well worked goal, good ball, but a horrible mistake from the Andorran keeper. So as it stands, it is 2-2 on aggregate and 1-0 Hibs here at Easter Road. And it is 2-0 Hibs here. Who else again but Martin Boyle? It was a good goal. It was a header this time. It was a good cross in from Elayoun, I believe. And a well-worked goal for Hibs. You could see it coming, although we're only 24 minutes in here. Hibs have been completely control this match. Defensively, you know, they've not been too solid, but making mistakes here and there, but tactically been really positive, especially with Martin Boyle, who again could be a crucial player for Hibs next season, and probably will be, to have massive impact on their season if he doesn't get injured. So a really good goal for Hibs, and they're 2-0, now leading on aggregate 3-2 to Hibs, so we'll have to see how the rest of the game goes. Right now it could end up being a quite shameful scoreline for the Andorran side, but 2-0 Hibs after 24 minutes. It started scrubbing here behind me as Hibs have got their third goal. Christian Deutsch with an overhead kick, a very acrobatic effort to get the third goal for Hibs. Very impressive from their point of view. They've been all over the Andorran side from the first minute to the 30th minute, which we are in now. It was, like I said, Christian Deutsch who managed to get that third goal. Martin Boyle took Christian Deutsch at one. A really good performance from Hibs. What you'd expect for, you know, what you expect them to from, like, coming back to Easter Road. And you know, my prediction for the score probably be my halftime prediction at this rate could even be 6-0, 7-0. Well, the fans are very impressed with the performance so far, as you can probably hear behind me. But very good performance from Hibs so far, and we will have to see how the rest of the game plays out. But as it stands, it's Hibs 3, Inter Escalades 0, and we're 30 minutes in. It is 4-0 Hibs here. Josh Campbell with the fourth goal for Hibs. It was a header. Another mistake by Escalades goalkeeper and his defence. Lack of communication between the two of them, which led to the opening for that header. So it's 4-0 Hibs here. We'll have to see how many more they can get, because we are only 48 minutes in. Can they get 5, 6 or 7? We'll have to wait and see, but one thing that is certain is that they will be going through to the next round after a really good performance and on the pitch which has been shown in the scoreline. So as it stands, we are 48 minutes in here and it is 4-0 Hibs. 5 and number 6 here for Hibs. It was Elliot and Josh Campbell that got both goals, both very impressive goals from the respective Hibs players. So it's been a demolishing of INTER ESCLADES today, and Hibs have run right and really showed the qualities that they can produce on the pitch. I mean, it was expected that they'd get a win, but it's such an emphatic one, I'm not too sure a lot predicted that, but a very, very good performance from Hibs today, and that's reflected in the scoreline. And with another 25 minutes to go, you know, a lot could happen in those 25 minutes. So it'll be very interesting to see and find out who will come away the winner today. And we hear the Hibs fans embracing this 6-0 thrashing of the Andorran side. And, you know, through performances like this in the next round, depending on who they get, they have a real chance of making it to the group stages. But we're focused on here tonight, and it's 6-0 Hibs after 65 minutes here at Easter Road. And it is full time here. Hibs 6, INTER ESCLADES 1. It was a really, really good performance from Hibs, like I've said, and you know that showed in the scoreline. They came in from 2-1 deficit and absolutely blew INTER ESCLADES away in what has been a really, really strong performance from Hibs today. And you know they'll want to continue these performances in the next round that they've got, and in the group stages if they make it. So very, very good performance from Hibs today, and we'll have to see how they do, and hopefully it'll be in tenets of their next match. And regarding the next match, I don't know yet. I was going to try to get one of the weekend, but I don't think it's going to work out. So probably the weekend after that, weekday, match day 2 in the Premiership, probably my first game back after this. I'll try and get another team other than Hibs, but given that's most of I believe that's out of the last 4 games I've been to, 3 of them being Hibs. So I'll try and get a different team, maybe a Kilmarnock, maybe Aberdeen, maybe Dundee. We'll have to wait and see. But a good performance from Hibs today, very poor from INTER ESCLADES Andorra, but you'd expect that from that side. So full time here, Hibs 6, INTER. What did you learn from your players today, given this is one of the first appearances many of them made in a European competition, and one of the first they've made here at Easter Road?
I think you're always learning about your players. You know, even the ones that I've known for a long time, you still learn about them. I thought they really stood up today, and they were counted. You know, it could have been a game where we was a bit edgy, a bit nervous after the sort of stick that had flown around last week. But I was proud of the fact that they had the bit between their teeth and they played with real confidence and brought out their best when it mattered most.